You're listening to the Productive Therapist Podcast, the world's greatest and most brilliant resource for busy therapists who'd rather be laying on a beach in Hawaii. Each episode is packed with simple tips and inspiring insights from the Productive Therapist team to help you grow your practice and have fun doing it. So without further ado, let's help you get more done and have more fun.
Hello, and welcome to the Productive Therapist Podcast. Whether this is your first time or you're a longtime listener, I'm so glad that you're here and you're tuning in. So today I was able to have a fun conversation with one of my favorite people, Gabrielle Juliano-Villani. She's just a rad person. She's got so much going on and her bio is extensive, but she's a licensed clinical social worker. She's a consultant, coach, entrepreneur, and educator. She's actually based out of Sarasota, Florida. Super fun person, and she's got a lot of great things going on. I encourage you to go click the link in the description of this podcast and go check out what Gabrielle has going on. But today we got into the topic of talking about artificial intelligence and specifically a tool that she really enjoys using, which is called Claude. It's kind of like ChatGPT, but maybe a little bit more personal and a little bit of a different focus. And we talk really practically about how we both use these tools in our day-to-day life. And I think you'll enjoy the episode. Thanks for listening. Hello, welcome to the podcast for the first time.
Thank you so much for having me. I am very, very excited to chat with you about kind of something new and different that I don't really talk with a lot of people about.
Yeah, well, I thought about this the other day. I was listening to a podcast and I heard them talking about Claude AI, which is an artificial intelligence tool we're going to get into. And the only person that I know that has ever talked about that is you, and you raved about it. And so I was like, you know what? I need to reach out to her. And I asked you, like, have you created any content about this? And you said no, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, well, we should talk about this. This is good
should.
stuff. Why are we keeping it from all the people?
Because I haven't heard it talked about much either. So
really? Yeah, it's so interesting. So we're gonna jump right into it. We're talking about kind of practical ways to use artificial intelligence, specifically this one tool called Claude AI, and how Gabrielle uses that in her day-to-day life. I'll tell you one thing that I don't know what most people think about me, but I am like a tech obsessed person. Like I do love technology and
I knew that.
Yes, software, and I love all Apple products and all the things, and I generally know about tech trends, early. But for some reason, I have not been obsessed with AI. I've used it and I use it to this day, mostly for writing, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But it's not my go-to yet. So I'm actually interested to learn from you, like day to day, how you're using this. So thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. Let's get into it. So Claude AI is an artificial intelligence tool, and on their website, they say, Claude is a next-generation AI assistant built for work and trained to be safe, accurate, and secure. But I'm curious, how is it different than ChatGPT, like from your experience?
That's a good question. Why I started using it is because I found out about it. Actually, I'm in a marketing membership, and she uses it a lot, and she was telling me about it because we were talking about ads. I use them mostly for ads and like other marketing stuff. And I was like, I get so stuck on writing copy. It's like the bane of my existence. I just get so like in a spiral about it and in my head about it. And I was like, and I don't like ChatGPT because no matter what I do or what I put in there, I can always tell that it's from ChatGPT.
Oh, right.
And I personally don't like that. I think some people don't care, but I do. And I want it to sound more like a human. And she told me about Claude, and I was like, I've never heard of this before. So that's how I found out about it.
That's great. I think the company behind this is called Anthropic. I don't know much about them, honestly, but the fact that they gave a human name to the AI tool is actually really, really smart, because you're like, it's like your friend Siri.
Yep.
Instead of ChatGPT is very like, that is not personal at all. So it's interesting to hear that Claude is also not just named personally, but it's like actually the way that it writes and creates content and gives you answers is a little bit more human, would you say? or
Yeah,
just
it's
a little bit
definitely
of a
more
different
human.
tone? Yeah.
It's a different tone, and even with
Hmm.
ChatGPT, I would say like make this a little bit more emotional or make this more warm,
Right.
and then it would be too much, and like it
Hmm.
just felt like it would never quite get what I wanted it to do. But Claude, and I love that they have a human name for it also, because when I was telling Uriah about this in the past, I was like, "Oh, my boo, Claude." And he was like, "Who's Claude?"
My business partner.
He's my boo. He's just like my right hand man.
That's
So
funny.
it is so smart to do that, I think, too. And it's more human and it sounds more like something that I would write.
Sure.
And I'll even tell it that too, like the same thing you would do with ChatGPT. I'll say, make this sound a little bit more professional, make this sound a little bit funnier or cheeky. It helped me write an email this week to one of my email lists for my group practice group.
Yeah.
And the email subject line was like, misery loves company, and we do too. And a ton of
Ooh.
people like commented back to me or replied to the email or they messaged me and they're like, that was a really good email. I'm like, I didn't write it, but I did give it some information on what to do.
That's a
But
good one.
I feel like ChatGPT
Yeah.
would have come with like something more cheesy.
Oh, for sure. It would have been like 7 ways to make misery more company like. I don't know, something
Exactly.
something weird like that.
That's totally what it would have done.
Yeah. One distinction that I was able to track down is that Claude does not, and it's the tool will tell you this, it does not search the internet, which is
Yeah.
interesting and different. I'm not sure why they chose to do that, but like ChatGPT can access information from the internet up to like, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be 2021 and then 2022. But Claude seems to be different than that. So I would guess that the use cases would be different, but regardless, I don't know. Tell us some of the things that you use it for. You already mentioned writing emails, writing marketing copy, maybe ad copy.
Hmm.
What else do you find yourself doing on a regular basis?
I definitely use it for the ad copy, and I'll even say, like, write me three different ads that are this word length about like this same topic, but write it three different ways. And then
Hmm.
take that and give me like five taglines for my headings. So I use it for that a lot, which saves me a ton of time. Um, I haven't used it to write blogs. I used it to write a Facebook post this morning, actually. And I use it a lot for um, proposals. My brain just blinked there for a
Hmm.
second. So I've been having to do a lot of proposals for some of my consulting work that I do.
Right.
And, or even if I'm pitching to speak somewhere or I'm pitching a contract for something, that's another thing that I'm like, how do I professionally say I'm going to be researching this topic for your company? Like, how
Hmm.
do I put that in there? And how do I make it sound professional with like, the scope of work and the deliverables? And it does all of that for me. And it
Yeah.
sounds perfect. And that saves me so much time. And I know the podcast that you were listening to where they were talking about Claude, he used it for something similar. Like I think it was a contract or something. And
Right.
he said, he's like, I put it in Claude and it gave me this like 1.5 page, like beautifully written NBA style proposal
That was a
that
good
I could
example.
use. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
40 pages to like a couple
yeah.
paragraphs. Yeah.
And so I use it for that a lot because that's another thing that I think just my brain doesn't work that way. And I'm like, well, the deliverables are just going to be
Hmm.
this. And I'm like, I need
Hmm.
to break down what I'm actually doing. So that has really, really helped me. And I like, again, I think that what Chat GPT would have given me is just not the same caliber because what Claude is giving me is very professional. I've used it to secure some really big contracts recently,
That's
and
great.
and so I trust it to do those things.
That's so cool. Become a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like those use cases and they make sense. Even for people who view themselves as good writers, like it's so helpful just to get some ideas to spark and something to work from, right? I think
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense. Recently, I was writing a contract or like it was like a membership agreement for my new Intune collaborative, which I talked to you about previously. And I didn't need something super legal, like super binding or like super intense. And so I did actually use Chat GPT, but I should go try Claude and see what it would come up with because I do like friendly, personal, like casual language, but I also
Yeah,
want it to have all the important things, right? And so
exactly.
to be able to do something like that so quick, I mean, I don't know if you're putting together like a services contract or like paperwork for a therapy practice, obviously you probably want a human lawyer to look at that.
Yeah.
I think I was looking at Claude the other day and it said like something like, this is not, don't use this for legal advice, basically.
Which is good. It should say
Yes.
that because I agree. Like you don't want to get sued. I mean, and you could.
Right.
And if you do, you don't want to be like, I got my employee contracts from ChatGPT. Like you want to pay an attorney for that one.
Yeah,
But I
because you
agree,
can't go
like,
back and
yeah.
talk to ChatGPT and say, hey, like you got me in a lot of trouble. Listen, we need to talk.
Exactly. Your job is on the line here.
Right,
Like
right.
that's not going to work. But you can use it for those types of things. Like I've done the same thing for like service agreements or like policies that don't necessarily need to be legal documents, but I
Hmm.
just need a little bit of help starting and like forming those things.
Right.
And it's still not perfect. Like I used it the other day. I put my bio into it and I was like, make this sound like more professional, I think I said, or
Hmm.
highlight this experience that I've had. And then it wrote this whole long thing about how I was like an esteemed international speaker. I was like, I'm not putting that in there, but thank you.
Like make this sound more low key, please.
Yes, you overdid it just a little bit, but thank you. Thank you so
Who's your
much.
PR agent? Oh, Claude.
I
He's
know.
great. That's
I
really
love
good.
that.
I do like one of the things we did last year was we used ChatGPT to rewrite all of our standard operating procedures and make them more
Mm,
casual and friendly. At Productive Therapist, a lot of our team is on the younger side, which is awesome. And but my director of operations is super good at writing policies and writing out procedures, but she tends to write in a kind of a formal sort of business way, which is really helpful because it's direct and accurate. But we were like, hey, what if we put all of the things that we have in our SOP, you know, storehouse, put it through ChatGPT and said, make this a little bit more down to earth. And
yeah.
it really was nice. And to me, it felt better. Like, I don't know, somehow it felt like we were less corporate, like pretty
Yeah.
quickly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 Less stuffy. Yeah.
That's a great way to use it. And you could also, since we're talking about AI for things like that, you can use I think it's Scribe AI. Have you ever used that before?
I have not.
It's okay, I haven't used it, but I have seen it and I have referred a lot of people to use it, and I should probably use it myself. But that's exactly what it is like you screen record, like you're, going through a procedure or process, and it will take that recording and it will put it into an SOP with screenshots
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it'll like walk you through everything. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
another really
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
one
yeah.
that could be a good tool.
I think that's similar to the other one that I'm aware of called Tango, which is really,
Oh,
those are really good ideas. And the fact that they're like using AI to pull that information together is really helpful. I like that.
yeah.
I'm going to check out Scribe. I thought you were going to reference like a progress note writing software because there's so many of those
There's so many of
now.
those too.
Thank
That
goodness you
makes
and
me
I
feel
don't have to
overwhelming.
write. Yeah, I know. Thank goodness you and I don't have to write progress notes anymore, right?
Yep, sorry everybody.
Hey. I'll tell you what, though, I was thinking about it today. I don't know why this was crossing my mind, but if I was to go back into private practice, let's say it was just me, there's a bunch of different automation things that I would do. Let's say I didn't have a team or an assistant at all. I would for
Hmm.
sure turn on like full self-scheduling for clients.
Yep.
Like I'm not going back and forth with you to schedule. Go use the portal, right?
Hmm.
And I still have some pretty major hesitations about privacy and digital security with some of these companies,
Hmm.
as I should and as we should.
Yeah.
But I would for sure want to have an AI tool listening to all my sessions and then writing the notes afterwards.
Mhm.
Like that's scary to think about, but it would be so nice.
I mean, I use the AI companion on Zoom
Hmm.
for all of my consulting or coaching calls that I do because there's no PHI that we're talking about. It's just
Right.
business. And that has made my life so much easier. Oh my God.
Wow. I need to turn that on. Tell me what it does for you.
It listens
Right.
to your conversation
Right.
and then it summarizes it. So, and you have to wait till the meeting is over. So after you end the meeting, it sends you an email and it summarizes everything you talked about. And then at the bottom, it'll say like action steps or follow-up items. And it'll say
Hmm.
like, Gabrielle agreed to send Uriah this email about blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it's not always perfect, but it's pretty good. And I know there's other ones too that integrate and I think they send the emails automatically, but it's free and it's part of Zoom. So I've just used it and I used to take like all of these detailed notes in a Google Doc with my coaching and consulting clients. And I don't do that anymore because now I
Oh
just
my
have all
gosh.
these instead.
I think you just changed my life because I know that that's there. I've just never clicked the button and turned it on. And
Do
like,
it.
why not do it? And also for our team meetings with productive therapists, like our all team meetings, and then also the leadership meetings, we take notes as we go through. But why not turn that on
Oh,
and pull the information out of there that's necessary?
yes. You
That's
have
so
to
good.
do
Okay,
that. That's going to
Zoom
save you
AI
so much
companion.
time. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I like it. I like it. I'm also going to go a little bit deeper into checking out Claude because I think it's super interesting. I was testing it out the other day and I hit the limit pretty quick. I'm guessing you probably pay for the pro version, like the paid version.
I don't have the pro version and
You
I've only
don't.
hit the limit
Okay.
once. So
Okay.
I don't know what the limit is, but
Yeah.
I use it quite a bit, like every
Right.
day probably. Um, but I would pay for it. And I know with the paid version, of course, just
Hmm.
like with the paid version of anything, you do get more and it would probably be worth it, especially if I'm
Right.
like writing more sales pages and ad copy and things like that. But I like how when you sign in, it like, tells you what you could do. It's like, do you
That's
want
nice.
me to talk to you about this math equation? I'm like, no, but that's cool. That's an option. Thank
Yeah.
you for
Right.
letting me know.
That's really great. I will tell you this though. I found this hack the other day, and I don't know what phone you have, but the new iPhone 15 has a fast action button. So on the side of the phone, it has one little extra button, and you can map that button to whatever you want. That's the place where on most other iPhones, it's like forever, never, never. It's been the mute switch, right? So you just
Yeah.
turn the ringer on and off. Now it's this fast action thing. I've always had it set to the camera. So I press it and hold it, and then it just turns on the camera and I can take a picture, which is great. But you can actually map it to start a voice conversation with ChatGPT. So I tried that the other day, right? So you're just like out and about, you're doing whatever you're doing, and you're just like, boom, ChatGPT, and you're having a conversation. And I don't know if you've ever used that feature, but you can like it just continues to listen and you can continue to talk. And I thought that's pretty cool.
I love things like that
Yeah, right.
because especially when like I was thinking about this morning on my walk. I used to not bring my phone on my walks, but I started bringing it and not to look at it. And I actually am very intentional that I don't put in headphones or anything because I want to like listen to nature.
Hmm.
But I do bring my phone now because I always have a lot of good ideas when I'm walking and I like take notes, but I could put it into Chat GPT instead or just talk to it
You
and be
could.
like, write me a blog post on this.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Because you brought up walking and coming up with ideas, I have to tell you this. So this is my analog um, solution sometimes to like taking a walk and always being like checking my phone or looking at my phone.
Hmm.
So I have this loop that I do around the local park by my house, and it actually has. This is going to sound really kind of weird, but it actually has like 10 fire hydrants on this walk that I go on. And I like sometimes if it's a nice day, I'll just sit down, and just kind of
Yeah,
enjoy what I'm looking at. And so several times I've taken a little notebook, just paper and pen, put the notebook in my pocket, and then I'll have an intention. So I'll go out and I'll say I want to come up with 10 ideas for new streams of income or something, just
yeah.
something. And I've done several different things like this. And so I'll sit down on every fire hydrant and I'll pull out my little notebook and I'll write.
I
And
love
as I'm
that.
walking, like I'm just thinking, like I don't know, as I say that out loud, it makes me feel like I'm a little strange, but
No, it's
it
not
is
because
a
it's
cool thing.
intentional and it's a good
Right.
ritual and brains
Yeah.
like ritual and routine. And so I love
Yeah.
that it's like at each fire hydrant is a new idea.
Exactly. It's kind of fun. It's a good thing. And because I think with all the technology that we have in our lives and with all the tools and the proliferation of AI, it is important to get back to just like hanging out in a forest by yourself and
It
like
is.
putting your feet on earth and, just those things that make us human too. Right.
Yeah, we can't forget those things. And because that is, I mean, this is a different conversation that I could talk about for 8 hours,
Hmm.
but we need human connection and we
Yes.
need to co-regulate and we need nature, and all of those things are still super important. But if I use Claude to write my emails for me, then I have more time to go for a walk in the morning and enjoy
Hmm.
all of that. So that's how I justify it.
No, I like that. Yeah. It gets you quicker to the things that you want to be doing.
Hmm.
That's great.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for jumping on and talking about this. I know this is a quick episode, but I think it's perfect. If people want to go check out, I think it's Claude AI.
Yep.
No sponsored links here yet. But I think, my encouragement to people would be if you're hesitant to use these kinds of tools, kind of just experiment with some of them.
Hmm.
There's some fun ones out there. Although I will say it's kind of annoying that like AI is a part of every single thing I use now. I'm like, just
I
no, do
know.
you have to? Like, really?
Yeah.
Do we need this?
I can't remember what it was. Oh, what was it? I don't remember, but that exact thing happened to me yesterday, and it was like it like popped up and it was like use AI to help with whatever I was doing. I was like, I don't want to right now. Leave
Yeah.
me alone. I don't need it for this, because it was something like really random. And I was like, how would you even integrate AI with that? I wish I could remember what it was now, but I do
Yeah.
remember that I was like, this is so weird and I don't need that. But
This is
thanks.
unnecessary. Yeah,
Yeah.
please leave me alone. But yeah, definitely check out the tools and experiment with them and find the ways that they can help you be more productive and get closer to your goals and closer to the non technology things in life that are so worth doing.
Yes, exactly. I love that.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Hope you have a good day.
That's it for today. Thanks so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and hit the subscribe button to make sure you never miss an episode. If you're looking for more personalized help, you can reach us through productivetherapist.com. Thanks so much for listening. We are Productive Therapist, and this is the podcast that helps therapists get more done and have more fun.